So, after you've created your online GitHub repository, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a clone of that repository on your local machine so that you can use IDEs like IntelliJ to add files and alter the code in the repository, ultimately resulting in you pushing that code back up to your IU GitHub repository. So if you've just created the repository, you should see a page that kind of looks like this, that has this this link to the repo in the middle. If you already have code in here, there should be a button over here that says like clone or download, and you should be able to get a similar link out of there from that. Now we'll copy that link and you will go to a terminal. If you're using Windows, you can't open a terminal, you only have a command prompt, and what you would rather do is open up the utility called git bash. So if you don't have git bash on your computer, it's likely because you haven't installed git yet. And so I'll include a link to the git installer in the notes below this video. So go ahead and install that and then come back when you're ready. So assuming you have git installed and you're using either git bash or a terminal if you're on a Unix variant, you want to navigate to whatever folder you want to keep things or keep your code in. In this case, I made a new folder called C343. You can see right here. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to run the command git clone, and then I'm going to paste in that URL. So you'll get this, and you'll get a prompt for your username. This username will just be your IUCAS username, and the password will be your IUCAS password. Okay, so it tells us that we've cloned an empty repository, but you'll notice now that we have that repository, or at least a new directory, in this folder. So I'm going to cd into that folder, and you can see it's empty. So like I said, we've cloned an empty repository. If you want to just test things out real quick, you can, let's see, let's create a new file. Let's call it readme.md. So we've got a new file. Now, if you're not familiar with Git, these commands might seem a little bit confusing to you. Fortunately, we're going to be using Git through the IntelliJ IDE, so you won't really have to emulate these before, but if you want to just see what it looks like to push something up to your IU GitHub, you can run these three commands in sequence. You'll do git add period, you'll do git commit -m with whatever message you want to have, so I'll call this one first commit, and then you'll do git push origin master. It'll prompt you to log in one more time. And then you should see a message that looks like that. So if we come back to our main page here and we refresh, we now have that README file in the repository. And that's all there is to it.